Sola Hostel, which is behind me. Actually, the hostel itself is in the walkout basement of the pastor's home, and it was an amazing space. Nice and cool, totally clean, spotless, very welcoming, and I am getting a little bit later start than I would like. It's about 8 o'clock, but when they brew a pot of coffee and come down and offer to share it with you, you don't turn that down. It's going to be a roaster today, high of 90, and I have to remember my first few days on the trail, it did reach 86 in the Shenandoah Mountains, so I know that I can do this. I am carrying 2.5 liters of water, and there's plenty of water stops along my hike today. Today's goal is 17.3-ish miles, which is a lot for me, especially after being off for 2 weeks. However, my understanding is that it's not too difficult in terms of terrain. I'm hoping that makes up for some of this. Yeah, so let's get it done. So behind me is the Presbyterian Church that is affiliated, or that the pastor where I stayed, he's the pastor of the Presbyterian Church, so it's only a couple houses away. And I'm gonna get on the sidewalk here. He is a very cool young pastor, Pastor Doug. Thank you for your hospitality. He has a sweet little young family, 2 adorable kids, and an intern that is there for the summer. Everyone was so nice and welcoming and kind. Even though I'm getting a later start, there is no way that I am passing up the iconic Horler's General Store here in Unionville, known for a lot of supplies and so forth, resupply. I don't need a resupply. What I do need is a breakfast sandwich. They are supposed to be very good from Horler's. I'm going to take the time and get me one before I hit the trail. I am finally on trail from my little side adventure to Horler's General Store, where I enjoyed a delicious breakfast sandwich on a hard roll, egg and cheese. And while they made the sandwich, I sat on their porch. They had charging outlets, which I didn't need because I was just at the hostel. And they delivered the sandwich to me out on the porch. Quite lovely, hard to leave. I had a donut while I waited, and also a ginger ale, raspberry lemonade ginger ale. It's delicious. I feel like I'm pretty well hydrated. It's a little bit later than I would like to start on a hot day like this. And like most hikers, I had a plan A, plan B, plan C for the day. My plan A was to make it the 17.3 miles, but I do have a plan B because I have a trail angel, my friend Deb, that lives fairly locally. She can come pick me up at any road crossing. It's going to thunderstorm later today and overnight. And plus, who turns down trail magic? Not me, especially when it is also a friend that I would love to spend some more time with. And I have a bed and a shower. But my plan B is to go 11 and change and have her pick me up at an earlier road crossing, which might make more sense because tomorrow was going to be a short day at 10 miles. So I don't have a deadline or anything going on tomorrow other than my hotel stay. That's the guy will come pick me up wherever, whatever time. I'm going to see how today goes, but given my later start and my desire to spend, more time with my friend and also the heat, I may see if she can pick me up at the 11-mile mark and just make up those other 5-ish miles tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. While I was thinking of it, I wanted to share a bit more about my stay last night at Sola Hostel. I thought it was kind of cool. Most places do have a hiker wall of some sort that you sign, and they keep those usually, like at Stumble Inn. They had a big blackboard with like the neon dry erase or markers, and then they actually frame those for every year and they hang them around the hostel. It's really cool. So you get to do a little artwork. At Sola Hostel, they actually had squares of wood and all kinds of paint supplies and such, and they included a hiker wall with, if you wanted to, do a little painting or just paint your name, whatever. And I was gonna do it, and then I got home from dinner and I was tired and I'm like, I don't want to do it, but I thought it'd be kind of cool. I'm an accountant, I am not artistic. So much fun. I'm so glad I did it, because now I will be on their wall. And they just made more space on their wall because they replaced their furnace. And I will hang there. Mine was a little more abstract art. I'm sure there'll be a picture here of it. And I really got a kick out of seeing all of the other hikers' artworks from the different years. That was a really unique twist on a hiker wall signature, and I kind of liked it. And it worked out good because the pastor is very handy and does a lot of the work around there and for other people himself. He has wood scraps available. He cuts them into squares and rectangles in different shapes, and it just kind of works out. People paint them and they hang them up. Anyway, cool idea. Thought it was fun. I'm not artistic, but I let it go and just did what I thought, and I think it came out kind of cool. I'm on a 0.8 mile road walk. I don't need water, but I saw in the comments on the Far Out app that we use for navigation that a nice homeowner installed a piped spring. You can see it coming out of the ground there, and it's out of the hose. And for water. That's pretty amazing. Thanks, Trail Angels. I may get some if it's cold and just filter it. I am starting to go through the National Wildlife Refuge. You can see over here to my left. Beautiful, beautiful area. There was a 0.8 mile road walk to get here. I also had to play a little game of how much tree cover is enough for a hiker to go to the bathroom. TMI from the trail, but I'm trying to stay really well hydrated, and I knew I was coming here to some flatlands and open boardwalks, and there would not be much opportunity to go. So there's a lot of posted signs, private property along the road. I was able to find a lovely isolated group of trees that did the trick. So I'm good to go for this road walk. Nothing really of note at this wildlife refuge. I think all the wildlife's hot too. I did see some Canada geese and red-winged blackbird, but I see those at home. No offense, birds, but I wanted to see something cool. I mean, I have heron at home too, but they're probably one of my favorite birds, and I love seeing them fly. I'm looking for a spot to take a sit-down break. There's some benches along here, but not on the trail. There was one that was a little bit off, and I didn't want to walk over there. Oh, trail magic. There is a bench in the shade right before I head back into the woods. Oh my God, I'm gonna sit down and take a break. I have officially made a decision to invoke my plan B, which is to get picked up about 5.5-ish, 6 miles earlier, making my total mileage for the day 11 and change and not the 17 and change. Number one, I can because I have a trail angel, thanks Deb, that will pick me up wherever I tell her, to be honest. And number two, like I said before, I don't really have a hard and fast deadline tomorrow to get to the motel. The only thing is it's supposed to rain tomorrow. I don't know how bad it's going to be, but honestly, this heat today is really sapping it out of me. And smiles before miles. I am just past the Pochuck shelter. I did not stop. I have plenty of water. I actually took a 20-minute break on that bench that I came across. I used my sit pad for a pillow on the in-between arm and propped up my legs on the other arm on the end. Took my socks and shoes off and aired out my feet for 20 minutes. And I regret nothing. It was amazing. And then I filtered some water, and all told, it was probably about a 40-minute break. I needed it, and I'm back out here huffing and puffing. Hello, old friends. I gotta go that way. And there's a severe thunderstorm on the radar headed this direction. And also air quality alert. So I'm glad I'm huffing and puffing up hills. Welcome to the AT. Whee! But I thought that was a cool view over to my right when I wasn't expecting it. It's really hazy though. You can hardly see. All right, I'm carrying on. I got about 5.5 miles to ice cream and a ride. I did hear some thunder off in the distance, but I had a chance to check the radar, and there was definitely a system going over Port Jervis, which is to the west of me. And when I did the fast forward radar, it seems to be heading south, not east. I'm hoping that means I won't have a thunderstorm. I mean, the sun is out, the sky is blue. It doesn't look eerie at all, but of course that can all change in a hot minute. As I was Googling what to do on trail in a thunderstorm, I just passed a shelter a mile ago, and I'm not going to turn around and run back to a shelter. Hopefully I'll be safe from that anyway. The air quality is noticeable. I've run into about 3 hikers today, all of which suffer from seasonal allergies, and said they've been on trail since Georgia, and they said these past couple days have been super brutal, and the real feel today is 101. 2 of them were going to get off trail because they just couldn't breathe. And I'm fine on flats, but when I'm going uphill, I really felt lightheaded, and I'm like, well, you know, I haven't been on trail for 2 weeks, but my legs feel totally fine. It's my lungs. Anyhow, all of that to say, gotta have plan A, B, C, D, and E out here. And I'm actually gonna play tomorrow by ear as well. If it's raining, I may have to shorten up my day. I just gotta be safe. Rule number 1, don't get injured, and I am gonna be on some big boulders tomorrow. I'm fortunate to have that flexibility in my schedule. I just had a chipmunk yell at me. Hey, what are you doing? Squeaking over by the tree. Yeah, I'm so thankful for that stream, I'll tell you. There is absolutely nothing like sticking your bandana in ice cold water and putting it on your head, and I rinsed off my face, and really thankful that stream was flowing, because there was a couple before that were dried up, and I can tell from the terrain here that it's pretty dry. And oh, here it looped around this way too, so you can kind of see the stream there. Oh, I feel better with my head cold. Head being cold. I just wish it was deeper. I would have stuck my whole head right in it. Of course, after I filtered that water like a half mile or less back, barely getting my bottle full, I come across this creek, and I'm like, what the heck is this? And I look on the guide, and had I just looked ahead, it said large stream. I still got my cold drink, but man, look at those little waterfalls. If I had more time, I'd climb down there and just probably go for a swim, but I'm motivated to get to the pickup point, but that just looks amazing. I just saw a porcupine. That was one of my wish list animals, and I saw one, but I didn't get my camera out in time. I was trying to take it all in. I scared the crap out of the poor thing. I think he was starting to climb one of these trees that I'm walking by and heard me, and I heard this crash in the woods, and I'm like, holy shit, it's a bear. And I looked, and I knew it was a porcupine running away from me. At first I go, is that a groundhog? But I looked closer, and it was bigger, and it had the long, you know, the needles, but it looked kind of like long hair or whatever, dragon. Oh man, I wish he would have been. God, now I'm gonna have to start looking up in the trees. Oh man, that was really cool though, and I just wanted to document that experience, even though I don't have photo evidence. Oh, that was amazing. See that blind curve or hill? It's pretty close to where I have to cross the road. The road is not that wide. It's not that far over to the trail, but I gotta tell you, these cars go fast, and I've learned, especially today when I'm so logy from the heat, I don't move that fast, so I really have to wait here until I can't hear anything at all coming. Like there's a big Mack truck coming now, but the blind hill coming this way really scares me, so I'm just gonna take my sweet old time and wait, because I don't think I could run if I had to right now. Let's play a little game called Can Ultra Make It to Heaven Hill Farms for ice cream, bathroom, and cold drink before they close? Let's take bets. I'm gonna say yes. I looked at the terrain profile. I have about 3 miles left, and they don't close. I'm not going to tell you how long, because it's embarrassing how slow I'm going out here right now. Okay, so they have a couple hours till they close. But I looked at the terrain profile and it's all downhill. And there doesn't seem, I mean, unless there's like boulder climbing down the hill, I'm sure I should make it there in plenty of time. Boardwalk as far as the eye can see. Just where I want to be with an incoming thunderstorm. Radar says I have maybe until 5 o'clock, which is another hour or so, hour and a half. The sky doesn't look so bad, but that is making me a little nervous, and I'm hearing some distant thunder. I'm trying to book it. I'm literally running down this boardwalk so I can hopefully beat the thunderstorm. The wind picked up suddenly, which is, hey, that feels great. But I don't want to be out in the open if there's lightning. I guess I could literally go hide in these bushes somewhere and be okay. But yeah, this isn't ideal, but hey, let's go for a run and see if I still can run. Oh God. All right, that boardwalk goes forever. Oh, look at that graffiti. I can't tell exactly what it says, but it looks like a J-E, I don't know. I'm calling that an R and a K or a C because you probably can't really spell. So, jerk. Yeah, that's it. Jerk. You're a jerk. Private railroad crossing, no trespassing, right to pass by permission, subject to control of owner. I don't know who owns it, but I'm a crossing. Do not approach cows. I do not see any cows in the field. Probably because they don't want their cows to get hit by lightning. Oh my God, I made it to Heaven Hill Farm and I see a sign, cold drinks, ice cream, bakery, and wine. It's like they knew I was coming. Woohoo, made it!